What's up, everyone? It's Justin, your local real estate agent here in Jacksonville, Florida, servicing Jacksonville and St. Johns County. Today's episode of Neighborhood Watch, we are featuring East Arlington. Now, I feel East Arlington gets slept on a lot. Not that many people know about it, but it's a great area to live if you're choosing to move to Jacksonville, Florida. We're going to be driving through East Arlington today to show you what some of the neighborhoods look like, going over some of the stats, some of the shopping centers, going over those as well. So let's get into it. Before we get into the drive, let's go over a few stats so you get an idea of what the price point looks like here in the area. Now, the average sale price in East Arlington, and when I say average sale price, I'm looking at a time frame from the last 6 months. That's typically how an appraiser will evaluate a property. They look at comps within the last 6 months. The average sale price in East Arlington within the last 6 months is $379,000. The median sale price is $375,000. So what that tells me is that since the median and the average is pretty much identical, that means there's not a whole lot of outlying homes that are really high priced, overly priced for the area. So most homes in the area of East Arlington are going to be priced around the same. The highest price home currently that's available for, or actually the highest price home that's sold in the last 6 months is $700,000. And the lowest price home that's sold in the last 6 months is $189,000. Now, your days on the market in this particular area, most of the homes, over 50% of them, are selling within the first 30 days. There is a good chunk of 20% of the homes in the last 6 months that have sold under 60 days. Now, those are typically your homes that are priced a little bit higher than the market, that sit on the market for a little bit longer. Now, currently, what's for sale now? It is currently, I think it's July 5th right now, or July 6th. And the lowest price home for sale in East Arlington currently is $269,000, and that is a townhome. And the highest price home listed on the market right now is $736,000 for a single family home. So without further ado, let's take a drive and show you what East Arlington has to offer. Alrighty, without further ado, let's get into our drive. We're starting here at the shopping center over here off of Atlantic Boulevard, on the intersection of Atlantic Boulevard and Kernan Boulevard. This one over here has LA Fitness, Academy Sports. You have the Cinemark's right there, the new movie theater that they just built. It's a luxury movie theater. You have Belk. There are some restaurants like Another Broken Egg is a nice little brunch spot over here, and some other little boutique shops on this side. On the other side of Atlantic, you have the Walmart. And this is going to be typically the area you're going to do all of your shopping if you live in East Arlington. Across the street over on the other side of Atlantic Boulevard, you have the Walmart there. You've got your Ross, your TJ Maxx, your Home Goods. There's a bunch of other boutique shops in there as well. There's some restaurants on that side. And adjacent to that, you also have on the other side of Kernan and Atlantic, you have BJ's Wholesale. So that's a big one as well. So pretty much if you live in East Arlington, you're going to be doing your shopping in this particular area. Now we're going to turn on to Kernan here shortly because East Arlington is pretty much, thank you, appreciate that. That was so kind. East Arlington is pretty much a big, box pretty much. So it's everything between Atlantic Boulevard all the way to Mount Pleasant Road, as well as Kernan Boulevard all the way up to Girvin Road. So that's really what defines East Arlington. All right, we're at the stoplight here to turn left onto Kernan, and as you're going to immediately see, as we turn left onto Kernan, on our right side will be Landmark Middle School, which is going to be the main public middle school for East Arlington in this area. Further down Kernan, there is a middle school called Kernan Middle School, but they service their district out for a different part of Kernan Boulevard. So as you can see, we're turning. Now we're on to Kernan Boulevard. We're on Kernan Boulevard going towards Mount Pleasant Road. And Mount Pleasant Road, if you keep going down, it turns into, the Wonderwood Connector, which takes you out to Mayport. What's pretty defining about Kernan Boulevard in particular, if you look to the right, you have these giant power lines, and I love the look of it. I know some people it's off-putting, but I love the aesthetic of that. It just reminds me of like Japan for some reason. But this is a very long road. They just widened this a couple years ago, so you have 3 lanes instead of just a split 2-lane single lane road. We're gonna turn right into this community right here. This will be the first neighborhood we're gonna feature, and the reason for that, this one's called the Villas at Cross Creek. Now, I kind of want to show you what these homes look like in here, because this is one of the most affordable single family home neighborhoods in East Arlington. These homes are starting, in the threes, the low threes, go up to the mid threes. So you're looking around, on average, around 1,500 square feet homes for these homes here. And most of these homes are built in the mid to later 90s. But we'll just drive through here to give you a sense of what these homes look like and what this neighborhood is like. Some of these homes will have single car garages. For the smaller floor plans, like the 1,200 square foot floor plans, usually have a single car garage. When you get bigger than that in square footage, you do get a 2-car garage. So this particular neighborhood could be an option for you if you're looking to stay, under 350 in the area. This could be a great starting point. The only, bad thing about this particular community is that there's not a whole lot of homes for sale all the time. It's relatively small. And a lot of these neighborhoods that we're going to see today, they are relatively small. So you will see fewer and fewer homes available, especially depending on what season it is. Right now we're in the summertime, so there are listings here and there that you can pick up. They do go fast, especially in this neighborhood, because like I said, this is one of the if not the most affordable single family home neighborhood in East Arlington. We've only had in the last 6 months in East Arlington around 125 listings that have sold. So that's not a whole lot compared to how many homes are actually zoned in East Arlington. So this could be a good neighborhood if you have, maybe a smaller family. You don't need a whole lot of space. You got 1,200, 1,500 square foot homes here. It'll do the job for you. A lot of these homes have been renovated over the years. So most of the homes that do hit the market from this neighborhood have been renovated in some way, shape, or form. But now we're going to move along to, we're going to show you Waterleaf next. We're going to take a right back onto Kernan Road here. And as you can see, I guess you'll see when I turn, Kernan Boulevard has tons of, and I'll just kind of wait here for this red light until, oh, it got a green. Has a bike path and a run path on the side of it. Off to my right next to these power lines, you'll have this bike path where people bike down every morning. People run down it. People walk their kids, walk their dogs. It's just a great spot. Over here on my left, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in time, but that is Waterleaf Elementary. Another big staple of this part of Kernan Boulevard in East Arlington is it has 2 elementary schools. We have Waterleaf Elementary and we'll have Sable Palm Elementary, which is up ahead just further. But right now we're going to turn left into a community called Waterleaf. Now this is probably one of your more, I would say, higher price homes neighborhood in East Arlington. Waterleaf. It's more known for, being relatively newer compared to some of the other neighborhoods. A lot of the neighborhoods here in East Arlington, oh, we got the yellow. We're going to get stuck. A lot of the communities here in East Arlington were, built in the 90s, the 80s, so you will see homes like that. So Waterleaf is a newer type community here. So I want to show you what that looks like. It is one of the more expensive communities in East Arlington. It does have an amenity center, so it does have a pool. Not a lot of neighborhoods in East Arlington have community pools and amenities and community centers. I actually don't know where I'm driving in here. I've been in here a few times to show some houses. But let's just drive through here and I'll show you what some of these houses look like. These are going to be your typical earlier 2000s builds. Oh, yeah, speaking of which, here is the amenity center off to my left here, if you'll see it in time. No big deal, but let's just drive here, and it has a splash park with a playground. They got a pool, they got basketball courts. So you can't expect an HOA fee here. I'd say most communities do have HOA fees, but for the older communities, it's a lot lower than something like this per month. than it would be, you know, if it was in an older established community. So let's just drive through here and you can see, you know, these are your pretty much your early 2000s homes. A lot of these builds built in the early 2000s, maybe up until, I'm not sure, maybe like 2010, 2011, 2012, maybe, depending on the phases. Oh, look at that house. I got burnt. That's crazy. Someone got a fire. Gonna have to take out that homeowner's insurance policy. That's really tough right now here in Florida, but that's for another video. All right, let's find a place to turn around. Let's go back to Kernan and show you what the rest of Kernan and East Arlington looks like. I will say that, let's go to this dead end and turn around. I will say that homes in here are probably in the fives. You're looking at in the 500s right here when you're in Waterleaf. There's a lot of really nice homes. You know, they are newer builds. They're not brand new construction. We will show you what new construction looks like here in East Arlington. We do have a community that was built within the last couple years, since 2019, that is in East Arlington, but this is probably one of your more newer ones that you can access or at least purchase in East Arlington. But we're gonna go back towards the main road. We're gonna go to Kernan, drive down a little bit. We'll take because as I said before, you know, the biggest thing about East Arlington is it spans between Kernan Boulevard and Girvin Road. So we're gonna cut through all of that middle stuff. We're gonna go down Ashley Malise Boulevard. Actually, we're gonna go down Matthew Unger. I think that's probably a better way to go. And we're gonna show you what's in between here, Kernan Boulevard, which runs parallel pretty much to Girvin Road, and show you the neighborhoods that are in between those two main throughways. But there's some nice homes in here. There really are. I've seen a lot of good listings in here recently. And again, they do go kind of quick because, you know, East Arlington is a great community or a neighborhood or section or area just because it's not as close to the beach as, let's say, Hodges or San Pablo is. So what that means is, you know, the closer you get to the beach, the more expensive the homes will be getting. I think we have to take a right here to go on Matthew Unger. Maybe we can still see a glimpse of Waterleaf Elementary. But as you get closer to the beach, you know, Kernan Boulevard, Hodges Boulevard, San Pablo Boulevard, they run, you know, as you get closer to San Pablo, it goes closer and closer to the beach. They run parallel to the beach. So it's almost like the closer you get towards the beach, the more expensive it is. So this is kind of like, in a way, the beach is living because the beach isn't so far away from here without actually paying the beach's price points. All right, so we're back on Kernan, and Waterleaf Elementary is just over there to my right. That's one of the main elementary schools here. But we're gonna take a left here on Matthew Unger, and I just wanna dip into some of these communities so you can see what some of the other neighborhoods look like in the area. Because this road goes back all the way to Girvin, it weaves and winds, and there's tons of neighborhoods that are back here that, you know, you wouldn't know about unless you drove back here off of the main roads. We actually, you know, I'm a little biased too because I didn't mention this before, but I actually live in East Arlington somewhere. You'll never know where, but I live in East Arlington. So I'm a little biased. I do think this area is a great area. Harbor Winds is a really big community that we just passed. We'll drive a little bit further. I've been in Harbor Winds many times. Let's take a look into one of these other communities. Let's see, what's this? The Landing at Cross Creek. Okay, so this is another community that looks like maybe 90s built homes. We'll just dip in here really quickly just to show you what some of these homes look like. Take a right here. I wonder if this loops back around. I don't think it does. To turn around. But from the looks of it, these homes are probably in the mid to higher threes, maybe even the low fours. These are a little bit older, but they are bigger than that first community that we saw. We're going to turn around right here. And also what's great about East Arlington is like I showed you before, the shopping centers that were, off of the main roads of Atlantic Boulevard, you have everything you need. You have your shopping, you have your groceries, you got, if you want to get some clothes, there's clothes. It's it's really close to I-295, East Arlington. So you get on I-295, you're at the town center in a few minutes. It's not that far away, not that long of a drive. I think it takes from my house to get to the town center on a good day around 15 to 18 minutes of time. Go back onto Matthew Unger. But some of these neighborhoods back here get really quiet, so it's nice if you want, to live close to the beach but still stay low profile when it comes to having a nice quiet neighborhood. Actually, I think I want to. Okay, let's do this. Let's show you this main road. This is Hickory Creek up here. We're gonna take a left onto Hickory Creek because, like I said before, these roads weave and wind all the way up into Girvin Road, and Girvin Road is kind of like the outer border of Kernan Boulevard. So there's tons of neighborhoods here in East Arlington that are just scattered throughout. We're on Hickory Creek Boulevard right now, and this is going to take us over to Ashley Malice, which will feed us back towards, it can feed us to Girvin, or it can feed us back to Kernan Boulevard, but we'll make our way back to Kernan. And as you can see, there's some communities in here. Maybe we'll stop by some of these communities and dip in and see what they look like in a second. There's just tons of homes, just tons of single-family residential homes in East Arlington. Now, I'm not saying there's a ton for sale, but they're here whenever they're ready. Take a left right here.
I don't know what happened to it. It just died.
Sorry about that, everyone. Had to take a quick pit stop into that neighborhood. My son needed a cracker. He was getting a little antsy. We love to take him along on these neighborhood watch videos. I mean, we kind of have no choice, so. But anyway, back on track. We are on Ashley Malice Boulevard, heading towards Kernan Boulevard now. And I may dip into some of these communities here, some of these neighborhoods. Like, for example, this one. Let's see. Let's just check this one out real quick. Ashley Woods. Let's turn right in here, see what this looks like. And there's just tons of communities, little pocket neighborhoods throughout East Arlington. Okay, so this one looks like there are some homes built in the early 2000s as well. Let's just drive through here and see what we can see. Now, these houses definitely look bigger square footage wise. It looks like you're running around, 1,700 square feet and above from what I can see. It's nice. You get some brick facade in some of these. Everyone's lawn's really well kept. So there is an HOA, clearly. Oh, my contacts are drying out a little bit. I think I've shown some houses in here before. It's been a while, though, since I've shown some houses in Ashley Woods. Oh, yes, I have. I remember that house. I showed that one. Let's take a left here. Turn around. This one right here in the corner. It's funny. All right, I'm going to take a turn around here in the cul-de-sac, and we're going to head back onto Ashley Malice to go towards Kernan. Hopefully we can beat the rain. The weather says it's going to rain around 3 p.m. We're 30 minutes out from 3 p.m. right now, so hopefully we can make it. We live in Florida, summertime, so we're getting a lot of rain in the afternoon right now. A lot. Not just rain, more like thunderstorms, really. So that's something to expect when you live in Florida. And it's also extremely hot. I think 4th of July just passed, and it was probably the hottest day ever recorded on average globally. So you can imagine that Florida felt that. I think it was like 90 something, like high 90s on July 4th. It's a good thing I didn't do a whole lot outside that day. Actually, our friends, we have some friends who live not in this community here, but a community nearby called Harbor Winds. It's a very nice community, lots of homes in there. They bought their house, I want to say it was like 2019, earlier 2019, and they got it for, I think like 280, 290. Now that house is going for probably way more than that, at least 100 grand over that. So it just shows you how much the prices in the market has changed since the pandemic and since before that in 2019 to where we are now. All right, we're back at Ashley Malise. So we are going to take a right. I'm going to head back towards Kernan because the next stop I want to kind of make, I want to show you guys what new construction looks like off of Kernan. Now, there's not a whole lot of new construction in East Arlington. I mean, pretty much all the land has been built on already. There are, other than the one I'm about to show you soon, and let's say Waterleaf, that's fairly recent. I really wouldn't call that new construction, but there's just not a whole lot of space to build any new homes or new communities within East Arlington that's going to be new construction. So you may see like some lots, some infill lots, that someone builds a newer house on. They buy a lot and they end up making a custom home or something like that. You can find those in the area here and there, especially when you start going more towards the Girvin area. You'll see a lot more of that. But we are on Ashley Malise right now, and as you can see, this is going to take us out to back to Kernan Boulevard. We're going to take a right onto Kernan, but here on the left, you're going to have another elementary school. This one is called Sable Palm Elementary, and this is another elementary school in East Arlington that services the area, that zones your kids there. So, as you can imagine, and I love these schools. I think for the most part, people who move to East Arlington, they're quite happy with having two elementary school options there. All right, we're back on Kernan. As I said, Kernan is a very long road. You can always know it's Kernan when you have these power lines here that run parallel to the boulevard. So on our left over here, we're not going to go through it today, but it's going to be River Point, and that's another big community off of Kernan in the East Arlington area. You do have a lot of older homes in there, very nice community, prominent neighborhood within East Arlington. And then also, as I'm going by, this over here to our right, you're going to see Kernan Forest, which goes back into where you can find some of the newer townhomes. They're not new construction, but they are newer. They are, in the 2000s, built within that time frame. You have townhomes back there. You have homes that were built in the early to mid 2000s as well. There is a community pool back there as well, so they do have a pool in there as well. It's nice to know. All right, we're going to head over to the new construction community of Magnolia Grove, and I believe they started building these houses in 2019, around 2019. And these are built by KB Homes, so they are KB Homes in here throughout the entire community, only one builder. And it's a pretty small neighborhood, and like I said, there's not a whole lot of land to build new construction communities here in East Arlington left. So this is a relatively small one. Actually, my friend, he just listed this first house on the right. So Richard, if you're watching this, what's up, brother? Let's take a left here. And as you can see, I just got into the community. I'm taking a left and it's already a cul-de-sac. But you can see these are brand new houses. They're selling in the fives, bare minimum. I'm sure they're in the fives for like 1,700 square feet, 1,800 square feet. And it would only go up higher than that if, the higher square footage that you go. But like I said, these are brand new practically. Some of these were built in, as late as 2021, maybe 2022. So they are brand spanking new, still under their 10-year builder warranty as well. Now, what's interesting about this particular new construction community is not only that it's one of the only ones. There is another one over off of Girvin, which we may or may not see, but it's actually attached to this church over here, which we'll drive through. I've actually never drove through it before to get back to Mount Pleasant. So before we turned into Magnolia Grove here, we were on Kernan Boulevard, which ends at Mount Pleasant Road. Now, Mount Pleasant Road goes east. It runs east towards the beaches, so it'll take you out to Mayport. Goes over the Intracoastal, takes you out to Mayport, where they have, obviously Mayport is the area known for being next to like Hanna Park in that area, as well as being near Mayport Naval Station, where a lot of our military economy works out of. All right. Yeah, so mind the speed bumps. All right, we are heading right back onto Mount Pleasant Road. Now, I think I want to show you a possible potential new construction community in East Arlington that's up and coming, but honestly, there's really no homes built on the land yet. They have cleared the land. They have, allocated the lots, and it looks like they plumbed and did the electrical for the lots, but they haven't built any homes on it yet. And it's a pretty big community as far as, it's a good size community. Maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 streets of a neighborhood that they plan to build, but it's by a builder that I haven't really heard of as well, and it's been sitting there like that for a while, so I'm not sure like when exactly that's going to be coming, but I will definitely keep an eye out and let you know if there's any further development on it, and we'll go drive by it and I'll show you where it's at. But now that we are on Mount Pleasant Road, like I said, this leads out to the Wonderwood connector, which takes you to Mayport, so just keep going straight and you'll hit Mayport. And along this road, on the left and the right, on the right side is going to be what's still considered East Arlington. On the left side, that's like the Mount Pleasant area, I guess you would call it. So it's not technically East Arlington, but still on the right side, you have a lot of communities here in East Arlington. They look to be like older homes built in the late 80s, maybe all the way to the late 90s. So you do get some variation there. This is a great way to go to the beach if you're heading to Atlantic Beach. You don't want to take Atlantic Boulevard, which is much busier. It's a nice scenic way because you're going over the Intracoastal on the bridge, and it's really cool to see the water, especially if it's okay. We're gonna take a right here, just so I can show you this community. This is not Girvin yet, but I want to take a right here because this is where. So it's called Tierra Chase, and it's a new construction community over here, as you can see, off of Mount Pleasant Road in East Arlington. But I just kind of want to see if I can drive in here really quick. I'm gonna pull in and let you see it real quick. So it's just a small little 1 or 2 street community, but they've cleared the land out. It looks like they're about to do plumbing and foundation work for that spot. Maybe that's the model that they plan to do. So if you are looking for new construction in the area, maybe you're not looking to, move in anytime soon necessarily, at least within, a year and a half, then maybe this is a potential place for you to look inside building. I don't know, from the website, they have a lot of renderings. I'm not sure the builder, I'm not too familiar with the builder, but from the renderings that they have on their website, it seems pretty nice. So, there's not really another home or community that they've built anywhere else in Jacksonville that I can go see, hey, this is an example of what they're building here in this neighborhood. So it's really hard to gauge, what these homes are going to be like until we have a model to see here in this particular community. But this particular community is going to be called Tierra Chase. And yeah, it's probably the next up and coming new construction community here in East Arlington. Now, I'd reckon the prices are going to be, I guess we can see the sign. I'm not sure how up to date the sign is, but the pricing is probably in the 5s, if they're building new homes, depending on the size. It says coming soon for a very long time. So it's by Century Communities. Again, I've never heard of that builder before. Not to say that's something bad. It could be, you know, a builder who's built custom homes in certain lots and now they're finally building a community. I don't know quite yet, but I'd imagine the homes are going to start in the 5s by the time they break ground with one of the model homes. All right, so we're about to wrap this video up, but I'm going to keep going here because I just want to show you East Arlington is going to end over here at Girvin. We're going to take a right onto Girvin Road, and Girvin Road goes all the way back down towards Atlantic Boulevard. Like I said, East Arlington is like one big box that's boxed in by Kernan, Girvin, Atlantic Boulevard, and Mount Pleasant Road. We're actually going over the Intracoastal, well, one of the parts of the Intracoastal right here, which is nice. But up here in the next stop next light is going to be Girvin. Actually, you can see Mayport from here a little bit. The shipyards out there. It's pretty cool. All right. This is just to reiterate my point. Maybe I'll show you this newer construction community that's off of Girvin as well. But here's Girvin Road. We've made it from going all the way from Kernan Road or Kernan Boulevard all the way down Mount Pleasant to Girvin, and everything in between is going to be considered East Arlington here. So everything on the left-hand side of the street right here, not really considered technically East Arlington. That's going to be the Girvin area. But everything on your right-hand side all the way back towards Kernan is going to be your East Arlington community. Now, I think there's a newer construction community off of Girvin on the right-hand side. I want to say, I don't know if it's KB or Lennar. I don't remember exactly, but it's going to come up on the right-hand side. Maybe we'll kind of just drive through there. And before, you know, they just widened Girvin, this road Girvin a couple years ago as well. It used to be like a one-lane road, and it was kind of sketchy, not gonna lie. Now they've widened it, giving you a turning lane as well in the middle. So that just goes to show the development in these areas where you're having a lot of, you know, demand to move in more affordable, quote unquote, more affordable areas that are closer to the beach or close to the Jacksonville South Side area. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up, guys. East Arlington, super slept on, you know, great location if you're looking to be closer to the beach, close to, you know, Jacksonville South Side where you can find the town center, close to 295 where you can literally go anywhere in Jacksonville pretty quickly on 295. Relatively affordable prices compared to areas that are closer and closer towards the beaches area. So yeah, there's our neighborhood watch for this video. Stay tuned for the next video. I hope this video gave you some insight about what life is like living here in Jacksonville, Florida. If you have any questions, comments, concern, like, subscribe down below. Let us know in the comment section what neighborhood you want us to feature next. I'd love to see what you guys have on your radar, and maybe we'll feature it in a future video. But if you need to buy, sell, or invest in Jacksonville or St. Augustine, give me a call, 904-420-8622, and catch you on the next one.